Hi everyone! So we thought it would be really fun to share some of our bookish goals for 2018.
Yeah.
I know I made a few goals this year and it was really helpful in my reading, so we thought it'd be fun to come together as a group and share what we're planning to do with our reading next year. So I actually don't know any of these guys' goals and I don't think they know mine, so we're just gonna have a little chat about what we're planning to do and let's just get into it.
Yeah. So each of us have written down 5 different reading goals, right?
Yes.
So we'll just go kind of one by one sharing our goals. A goal for me that I'd like to try and attempt next year is to write more detailed reviews on Goodreads.
Oh, that's a good one.
Every once in a while I'll do that, like when I'm super passionate about a book, but most of the time I just don't stop and reflect on what I've read because I feel a lot of pressure to read as fast as I can for OwlCrate, but I kind of want to take just like a few minutes to write some more detailed thoughts so that you guys can actually gain something from my reviews instead of just a star rating. So that's just like a little thing
That's
that
cool,
I'd like
though.
to try and do more of.
And it's nice to like look back in a couple of years and be like, oh, that's what I thought of that book
Yeah,
at that
exactly,
time. 'Cause things
exactly.
change as like your opinions change, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I always kind of have a hard time because I don't know if it's like cool to really do a detailed review of a book that's not coming out for 8 months. Like, I don't know if that's...
I always really appreciate it when people do, and there's like, you can just hide it under the cut.
That's
There's a
true.
function for
Yeah.
that.
Spoiler cut.
And like most people who are looking for, if they're going to look for that book, they're looking for a review, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess I just worry, I mean, I guess it's like this with any OwlCrate pick too, but I worry that like something vital will change between the copy that I receive and the copy that gets published, but shouldn't let that stop me from writing reviews. So yeah, that's just one for me.
Cool. Good goal.
Thanks.
My biggest one for 2018 is to replace Netflix time with reading time because, as I've said in many videos before, I'm way behind on my count compared to these two. So yeah, not just because I have a lot of reading to do, but also just like for mental health reasons. Like I always feel better at the end of the night if I've spent an hour reading versus just like binge watching something. So that's my number one goal for sure, is to just make more time to read and not
make the
just zone
conscious
out so
decision
much.
to be like, gonna turn off Netflix
Yeah.
and open a book.
Exactly.
You'll be amazed, like
Yeah.
once you start doing that, you'll be amazed how many books you can get through.
Yeah.
Because like an hour of reading, you know, that's 50, 60 pages.
Totally.
Yeah. Fly through them books.
Even if you just do like an hour of reading per night before bed, you'll get through books.
Yeah.
So there you go. Number one.
That's awesome. So my first goal, and I do this every year, is I pick an author that I want to explore that I've never read before. This year I picked Terry Pratchett, and I've only read one of his books, but I did it, and it was good. But, you know, and it's just to test the waters. I don't necessarily need to read all of their books, but it's
There's
just,
a lot of-
I want to read some of their books. And for 2018, I want to pick up Robin Hobb, who I've never read before, who's like a really big fantasy writer. She's really big in like the adult fantasy world.
Cool.
And apparently her books are amazing. And I think I will really like them, but I've never done it because it's kind of intimidating to dive into a world where she has like 16 books or something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick up a Robin Hobb book.
Nice.
So that's my first goal.
Well, that kind of leads into one of my goals, which is I have a goal. There's a couple authors that I want to read more from this year. So I wrote down Leigh Bardugo, who I own all of her books except for one, but I've only read the Six of Crows duology. So I want to get through all the others. I want to finish reading all of Laini Taylor's books and Holly Black because I read The Cruel Prince and it's probably my favorite book of the year. So I'm excited to kind of go back and read her older stuff. And then also
Some good middle grade stuff too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about a lot of her books, so I'm excited. And then I also really want to read Jason Reynolds. We talk about Jason Reynolds all the time,
Totally.
but I've not read anything by him, and it's time.
I love his books.
Yep, it's
Good.
time.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Also leading into that, when we were at Village Books on the weekend, there was a quote from Kurt Vonnegut that you guys both immediately recognized, and I realized I've never read Kurt Vonnegut, so he is, I would love suggestions on where to start, which one to go with first, but
Slaughterhouse-Five per se.
That's what
Yeah.
I was trying to say, and that's where that quote came
Yeah.
from.
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of the biggest one, I think.
Yeah.
I think I actually have it at home. It's just one that I've never actually read. So Kurt Vonnegut is like
Nice.
my author goal.
That's good.
Cool.
Cool. What's number 2? Oh, okay. So I keep a very detailed spreadsheet of all my reading statistics. watch out
You
for
should
that.
see
Yeah,
it.
it's
You
crazy.
should see it.
Watch out for that video because we're going to be making a video about it. But it also breaks down the author's origin country, so where the author, where you're reading from, is from. And last year, 75% of the authors I read were from the States, which is a pretty high number, but I was like, okay, though, that's, you know, it's still branching out. This year it's down to 70%, and next year I want to get it down to 65% authors from the United States and kind of like get out there a bit more. I will say the majority of the other books I have read are from the UK and from Canada. But, you know, I've read a bunch of books by Japanese authors, a few Nigerian authors, and like, so it encourages me to be like, I want to get that number, just read a little bit more diversely from different cultures.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get it down to 65%.
Yes, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I guess like a kind of a simple goal for me is to read more backlist titles, like not as many like brand new releases, because I already have to read those for OwlCrate a lot. But there's a lot of books that are a few years older that I really want to read and have been sitting on my shelf for ages. So that's just a little goal that I've got in the back of my mind. Cool. Try and do a little bit of like personal reading every month.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's hard when you have to read for work so much.
Yeah. It is. I mean, you know, it's not torture. And it's fun in a different way.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you want to, like, you have to stay up to date with everything that's coming out, but then there's also a lot of older books that everybody loves that you've never read, so. Yeah.
It's good.
Not specifically, like, I don't track them region by region, but one of my goals is also to, like, seek out more diverse reads, both in middle grade stuff, because I would love to be able to recommend more diverse authors, but also just with adult fiction stuff for my own pleasure reading. I saw a book called White Tears by Hari, I think his last name's Kunzru. He's British, and I believe his father is Indian, so he's half Indian, but it sounds like a really, I've heard it's like really surprising and really intense, and so that's the first one I'm gonna do.
Nice.
White Tears.
Good. That's awesome. I kind of am related to yours. Backlist titles, but in a different way. Again, because of my spreadsheet. I keep track of dates, publishing dates for everything that I've read. I've read a lot of new releases. I think this year so far I've read 75 or something.
Oh, wow.
From 2017 alone. But this year I've read a book published in... I basically want to read a book published in every decade of the 20th century.
Cool.
I think this year I've done most of it, but I don't think I've done anything from the 30s or 40s. But just to like get outside my comfort zone a little bit, fine. Because I know there were tons of books published back then, and I'm sure a bunch of classics were put out in the 30s and 40s that I just haven't picked out.
Right.
So
that's a cool goal.
Yeah, kind of specific, but it'll be like fun to like check it off.
Yeah, I love spreadsheets.
Seriously, guys, the spreadsheet.
One kind of nerdy goal for me, I guess, is I used to read like a lot of business and like self-improvement books, especially in the beginning of starting OwlCrate. And over the past like year or so, I've kind of dwindled down, and I'd like to pick that back up. So I think I'm gonna challenge myself to read one book like that every month, just to keep my brain going, like feeling inspired, trying to make OwlCrate better.
Learning.
Learning. I don't read a lot of nonfiction books, so that's kind of like my nonfiction style that I like.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Good stuff. I need to organize my bookshelves. My apartment is like just like a bomb of books went off, and they're scattered everywhere, and I have like them in 4 different places, and it's a mess. So I need to buy a new bookshelf and then like actually come up with a system and keep them all.
It's so much fun to do.
I know, I'm really excited to do it.
And then we'll film your bookshelf tour.
Exactly.
Goal.
But that will also involve, I think, a lot of culling, because I have stuff that I've just like randomly picked up or people have given me or what have you that really I know I will never get to.
Right.
So I can pass those on to somebody else, and then also like refine my TBR list, and
It's kind of
so much
liberating to get rid of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool.
Organize
That'll be fun.
heck out of my bookshelf.
That is fun.
For me, again, kind of ties into Cora's. I want to read a nonfiction book every month, and that could be anything. Like it could be a self-help book or a memoir or a biography or whatever. And I've been doing mostly this year, and I feel satisfied when I do it. Like it's like it feels good. Like I feel like I'm learning about somebody else, or not that you don't learn about other people when you read fiction, but it's just a different experience.
Yeah.
When you're reading nonfiction, and I'd like to pick up like specifically more graphic memoirs because I find them very interesting, and I've only read a couple.
Yeah.
And they've all been really good. So yeah, just reading nonfiction. I used to read a lot of nonfiction, almost solely nonfiction. Huh. Yeah, my reading taste has been real weird.
Yeah.
So kind of want to get I don't want to only read nonfiction because like obviously, but I definitely want to get a bit more back into that because you feel kind of like, oh, I've learned something today when you read a nonfiction book. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just something different, so it even keeps like your fiction reading more enjoyable too, I think, when you're just like balancing it out a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
And my final goal is just like a fun one. During Spookathon this year, I read a lot of graphic novels and comics, and I haven't done that for like a couple years, and I just enjoyed it so much. So another goal is just to read more graphic novels and comics. I have a whole bunch sitting on my shelf that need to be read, and I'm excited to do that. Because I used to read them all the time, and then it just kind of dropped away. So yeah, that's just my last fun goal.
Nice.
Yep.
Also kind of connected to that, mine is just to read more widely in general, so like rotate genres. So don't spend 2 months just reading middle grade. Not that middle grade is a genre, but like alternate middle grade and adult, and probably more YA.
Yeah,
and
let's
then,
get Sally into YA more.
But then like sci-fi and horror and more graphic novels, and just like mix it up a lot more. Yeah.
Cool. And my last goal, and a very specific one, is to finish all of the books by Neil Gaiman I haven't read yet.
Okay.
Oh snap.
I have read most of them, to be honest, like most of his novels. I've only read a couple volumes of Sandman and stuff like that, but I think I only have like maybe 3 or 4 books by him that I haven't read.
Really?
I think.
That's impressive.
So, I want to get to, I mean, it might be more. I could be very wrong.
Are you including like nonfiction and stuff in this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Huh. I've read a bunch of his books this year, so I think I've read maybe 10 or 11 books by now.
Wow. Cool.
So I wanna get to the rest and have a complete library of Neil Gaiman books.
Excellent.
Okay, and I'm gonna ask you guys a question that everybody's gonna want to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this seems so serious.
Are you setting a Goodreads goal?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what you're gonna set it at yet?
I think I'm gonna set mine at 100. For some reason I can't remember off the top of my head right now what mine was for 2017. I think it was 80.
I think it's 80 for you. Why I know that.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna up it to 100.
Okay.
Push myself.
Nice. Mine was 60 this year, and I will also be upping that. I think I'll probably go to 80.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job. I've upped it every year since I got Goodreads. Oops, I kicked right. And I've always upped it by a book a week. So this year I had to read 3 books a week to complete my goal. And I've definitely surpassed my goal by a lot. And I could have like upped it to 4, but I'm nervous to up it to 4 because I don't want to.
You read thick books too.
And I read big books, and like I do read a lot, but I don't want to feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to feel like I'm behind on my goal. I have to read this book.
Yeah.
I read a lot because I want to, because I enjoy it, and like, I mean, yes, I can say some months I only read 18 books. But,
Oh, heavens.
but I don't. So I'm nervous to up it. So I might up it a little bit and just get off of my 1 book a week upping it and go up to, right now I think this year I did 156.
Okay.
Which I've surpassed by 100 books, more than 100 books. so I think I might do it to 175.
Okay.
Just like up it a little bit.
Okay.
So I feel like a little,
Yeah.
but because like I'm not gonna be able to read more books every single year. There's got to be a cap at some point. So
Yeah, there's only so much time in the day.
so and I don't want to feel like right now I'm reading a 1,200 page book, and I don't want to feel like I can't read that book.
Right.
Because it'll take too long to finish.
Yeah. And you also want to like be able to savor certain books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So think I'm gonna up it to 175, but I'm not gonna go higher.
I think that's a healthy goal
Yeah,
for you. I think you won't have a problem.
No, I don't think I'll have
completing
a
that.
problem either, but I don't want to feel the. I don't want. It needs to be fun, guys.
Yes.
That's the point.
You've like turned reading into a sport for you.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you're like in competition with yourself.
With myself, with my spreadsheet.
And your spreadsheet. I think that's a good goal.
Yeah. Awesome.
Alright, so those were just some of the goals for 2018 that we are hoping to accomplish with our reading. We'd love to hear if you guys have specific reading goals as well, or if there's like certain authors that you want to read more from. Yeah, we'd love to have a discussion with you guys in the comments, and we hope that this was fun for you to watch.
As per usual, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Happy reading, and thanks for being awesome.
Bye! Bye.